Yeah, hello and welcome back to this channel. Yeah, well, we are used to doing computer stuff, but Excel too is an important application for our life. So I thought we should also be able to, do one or two things with Excel. Basically, at the end of this tutorial, I'm targeting for you us to be able to, most importantly, calculate payee, because it's all about Nigerian payee system, different taxes, so you can be able to use, and payroll as well, so you can use Excel to prepare your payroll, calculate your different kind of taxes, and do some mathematical calculations that ordinarily could take months or years to calculate. Yes, it may be up to that. There are several type of calculations that you want to do, but with the power of Excel, it is streamed and seamless and within fractions of seconds. So I'll be going into this with the assumption that you know some one or two things about this, because I'm going to go it in the Nigerian way or Nigerian approach. There will be no much of talking or definition of things. You just go straight into it. So if you need a few lessons about some terminologies in Excel, please, you may search for several content on the website that can give you that should be able to give you that information. But my assumption is you can do some one or two things with your computer system, not Excel in particular, because I'm going to explain some of these things and to be very clear for us as we go along. Again, the end result of this is for us to be able to use Excel to prepare payroll and some other vital document that you see outside there, tax calculations and so many other things like that, payee, withholding taxes. This is the purpose for setting this up, and it's going to be in a series of videos. It cannot be at one length. So for now, for today, or for this time actually, I want to go about introduction of Excel, some few tools that we can use on it, and how it works in general, so that in the next few classes then we can build from there and develop ourselves towards the end result. So this is Excel page. I am hoping by now you have it installed on your system, and so we're just going to go through some operations of its explanation actually. So Excel, there are some few things that you need to know before you can do or work on Excel. There are some basic things that you need to understand. Number one, Excel works in cells. Everything we do in Excel, we do it inside cells. So what you are seeing right now are cells. Each of these cells can contain or take different kinds of parameters or data, including numbers, letters, figures, and most importantly, formulas. We're going to talk about each of these values one after the other, and see how Excel manipulates these things to give us results or output. So basically, Excel takes data that you input into these cells and then make some calculation based on information or instruction that you give to it for it to calculate for you, and then it displays that information for you to make decision or whatever you want to do with it. So everything that we do in Excel is being done inside cells, and so it is very, very important for us that we understand what a cell is and how to work with them. So a cell in Excel is made up of, where a column meets a row. You may be wondering, what's a column? So here, what I'm currently pointing on at is a column, and for us to know to distinguish between column and rows, actually they gave us names of those columns. For instance, this one I'm pointing at now is column A, and you can see you have column B, column C, column D, and so on and so forth, up till I don't know, I think colon XFD. So that is the name, that is the last one there. I don't know how many columns that will be, but you have up to colon XFD or whatever. So these are columns. That is how far you can stretch, to put data into this thing. But not to digress, we are trying to explain to us what a cell means. So I said a cell, we have a cell wherever a column meets a row. Now I just explain a column now. These are columns, and as you can see, we have row 1, row 2, row 3, and so on and so forth, up to row 1,576 rows, and you have like that too for columns. And so these are the things you work with. Now a cell, you have a cell wherever a column meets a row. For this presently now, for this cell that I'm pointing on now, we can see that you have this shaded portion of this column and this row, trying to tell you that this cell is made up of column B and row 4, because each of these cells should have their own name because of referencing. We'll talk about referencing too very soon. Just that's some of the very important things you need to know about Excel. So where a column or row meets a column, wherever any one of them meet each other, you will have a cell. That is very, very important for you to understand that. So we can have, so on this page now, we have as many cells as possible that you can put things inside. And by things I mean data, information, and so many things like that you want Excel to use, to manipulate for you, maybe to multiply it or add it together or divide by whatever you want to put. Very soon we'll go to see all these things and you see how it works. But for now, you should understand that everything you want to do on Excel, you'll be doing inside a cell or inside cells, and these cells have their names. For this one now, that cell will have a name depending on the column and the row. For instance, now this cell that I'm presently pointing on is named cell C4. Cell C4 because it is on column C and row 4, so you have cell C4. And if you look at this top corner here, that is the name written here, cell C4. This one I'm currently on, without looking at that name, you should be able to tell the name of that cell, which is cell K15. And if you look at the name here, you have cell K15. That is the name of the cell. It is very important again for you to know that each cell has their own name, because you are going to be pointing to them and making reference to them and putting things inside for Excel to manipulate or calculate for you. Now moving on, another aspect you need to understand apart from the cell and that you know the name of those cells is that Excel can hold things for you. It can store data for you. Each of these cells can take values, and values means letters like alphabets. If you move away from it, you have put something into that cell. You can work with it later. It also takes numbers and so on and so forth. It can also take formulas, which is also a major point of this tutorial. Formula works in conjunction with reference. You might have heard me talk about reference just briefly the other time. Reference also has to do with knowing the cells names, because you want to make reference to so in order to explain that formula for us, you understand now that I told you each of those cells can hold data in form of letter, numbers, and formulas. So in order to demonstrate what a formula looks like, just imagine if you have two numbers. Say you have 10 and you have 15 in this in these two cells. So this cell that contains 15 is named E5, and this cell that contains 10, that has 10 inside of it, that I put 10 inside, is named cell D5. You can see they are both on the same row 5, but they are on different column. This one is column D and this is column E, so you cannot have them on the same exact position. Each cell is unique to its own. They can be different by column or by row. So these ones are on the same row, but they are on different columns. So now to demonstrate what a function looks like, now assuming you want to, at any point in time, if you put any numbers into this place, you want this cell to calculate addition of these two together for you. Now don't worry about how to write the formula for now. Just know that you can use Excel to do this kind of simple calculation, and this is just the preamble of things, the concept of things, because, well, Excel is much more than doing 1 plus 10 plus 15. So now, because I know the name of these cells, which is why you need to know the name of cells, I will need to reference the cells that I want to manipulate. Do you understand that? So first one is the cell D5, which I'm going to type D5, and as you can see, it has highlighted that cell for me to show me that I'm referencing a cell named D5. Then I'll put my operation, and I'll call the other cell E5. As you can see, Excel has selected that E5, even with different colors to differentiate that. I'm referencing. Reference means you are talking about, you are getting information or data from another cell, and you are making use of those information in that present cell that you are working on. So this is the formula that I've written now. If I'm through with it, I press enter. It calculates or does the manipulation for me, and here now I'm having 25, which is addition of this cell and this cell together. This cell, remember, it contains data, that's 10. In this place too is 15. So this place does not contain data. It contains formula inside of it, but it is displaying or showing me the result of the calculation. So therefore now Excel can take data and show and calculate and then display the result for you. Now if I change the data or information or whatever in this cell D5, now the moment I press enter, you see that this cell calculates the new values for me. That's how formulas works. Whenever you change the values, that is the reason why you want to create something like this. Now let's use a more realistic example. Let's assume I want to calculate. Let's assume I have 25,000 naira from somebody, and I have 30,000 naira. Let's assume these are my salaries, for 2 months. I collected 25,000 naira last month, 30,000 naira this month, and sure enough, Excel will calculate the total for me here. Now, if I'm showing this to myself, if I'm looking at it to myself, I understand what I'm looking at. But if you show this to somebody else, they would not know what you're talking about. By just looking at these things, you have 25,000, you have 30,000, 55,000. You may not understand. Now, if you decide to put January, type January here, and then here February. Here you now say total. I think it's looking more presentable, better than when these are not there. Now looking at this now, somebody can take a guess or make a clue that okay, this is a value. This 25,000 naira you're saying is a value in January, and this 30,000 naira is a value for February. This 55,000 naira means total of this and this. So now you see where this letters comes in. Now it's showing clearly that Excel can take letters and you can use it to represent or to inform viewers about information in your data, in your Excel sheet. So now you understand that Excel can take figures, numbers like this, and it can take letters like this. In fact, you can put anything you want just to represent or to communicate your intention. And then it can also take formula. This is a formula, we just did it now. Anybody looking at it may not know what this is, but by looking at it, it is showing the computed figure for you, and you are seeing that here is total. As we progress in this tutorial, we will show us how to format things and make it look things look more presentable, and that is called formatting. As you can see, I'm trying to just do some few basic things for us to know that you can really work with Excel for don't worry too much. All these things we're still going to explain how to do it to ourselves. Now these are just the basic concept that you need to understand in order to make Excel work for you. Now we can still go ahead to put some things here to to just give a better communication to whoever is looking at this thing, to show them that, so that they can be able to process what they are seeing. Now we understand this basic concept that everything we do in Excel, we have to do it in cells. We can manipulate those cells, we can stretch them. That is having to do with when we start populating information in our page, and then you can format things. That means to change the appearance of whatever. It's just the appearance, it doesn't affect the values or data inside the cells. Now with this few understanding, we can let's say change things. Let's add more to it. Well, I think I can stop here for today. In the next couple of videos, you will be notified if you have subscribed, and you click on the notification button. You'll be notified when the next video drops. So I want us to take this slowly and gradually. You can rewind or review or rewatch the video if need be, so that you get a better understanding of this package. That's because it is very vital to even to our day-to-day life. You can create something for yourself to record your spendings, or calculate some things for you, or to give you insights about so many things. Or in fact, if you're a business owner, you can create something like this to to help your business. I know some few people who use Excel to prepare their payroll. They have like 10 staff. You don't need to engage accountants or a consultant rather for that purpose. You can do small Excel to calculate. Even if you are working in an organization as an accountant, you may still need this knowledge to understand it. So we take this gradually. The next couple of lessons or tutorials, you will understand because it's a long journey anyway. Yeah, but in the next couple of videos, you will learn this and appreciate later. So please click on the like button and subscribe, and then click on the notification, because when the next video drops, you will be notified, and then you can follow along. So thank you for this one. I'll see you in the next couple of days for the next video. Bye bye.